Am I the a-hole for ruining my sister-in-law's dress shopping?
Am I the a-hole for telling my mom she needs to work on her racist language or she can't meet her granddaughter? Am I an a-hole for ditching my girlfriend for one night while away on holiday?
Am I the a-hole for ruining my sister-in-law's dress shopping? My 26 brother, 29, is getting married in a few months, and Lily is amazing. I know, a post that doesn't hate the in-laws. She's very demure. She lets her mother walk all over her and says nothing. I didn't know about Monster Mama until last week, and by God, did I find out quick. Let's just say where Lily is quiet, I am not. Last week, Lily, me, and her mother, went dress shopping. She and my brother wanted one of our family to go, and I was the obvious pick. She wanted our opinions, and it became clear that herself and her mother didn't have the same style. Her mother liked mermaid dresses, Lily didn't. An hour in, Monster Mama told, not ask, her to try on a dress. Lily did not like this dress. It didn't flatter her arms, in her opinion. I could tell she wasn't a fan, so I said, why don't you try a dress that goes in at the hips? Ergo, not mermaid dress. You have a very curvy figure. She is a big girl and she has a to die for waist to hip ratio. Lucky mare is Jessica Rabbit. She came out in a princess dress that hid her arms like she wanted and accentuated her waist. It wasn't my style, but even I couldn't deny she looked like a queen. She nearly cried, she was so happy in it. Her monster, I think she looks a bit fat. This faced me for two reasons. It's her daughter, and I was sitting right next to her. I am a size 22, at least two sizes bigger than Lily, but I held it in. After she told her to get a different dress, Lily came back out in another mermaid dress. Lily had completely given up. Her mother wouldn't stop saying, "This is the dress." I asked if Lily liked it. She didn't like that her arms were out. Her mother said, "It isn't your arms you need to worry about," and gestured to her belly. It wasn't flat, sure, but the cheek of this woman, I burst. You're right, she doesn't have to worry about her arms, just her nightmare of a mother. Obviously, an argument ensued. The last thing I said was that it didn't matter if Lily was her daughter because she would soon be my sister, and people don't talk to my sisters that way. Monster Mama then pulled the trump card. I'm paying for the dress. I let her buy the dress and leave. I then bought the other one, the one Lily loved, and told her to return the dress of Satan. We could lie as to why it couldn't be used and return her money. I apologized to her for ruining her day, but she just laughed. My brother picked us up and said he wanted me to go because he knew what her mother was like. While we were in the car, her mother FaceTimed her saying how disrespectful I was, how I insulted her, and that she wouldn't be at the wedding if I was there. She hung up and the rest of the ride was silent. I have tried to keep the peace and apologize, but Monster won't have it. Now I'm beginning to doubt if I should have went off on her like I did. I don't want to ruin it for Lily.
NTA. I have a monster-in-law exactly like this. We went wedding shopping and I happen to know the designers there. I hadn't seen them in over 2 years. I was a size 16 when they saw me last, different countries, and then I was between 12 and 14 when they saw me wedding shopping. One of them mentioned you've lost weight. And my mill goes in front of everyone she needs to lose more. Everyone was shocked. My SIL said nothing. My mill is very lucky I'm confident and don't care about what people say or I'd have blown up. Your SIL is very lucky to have you, she is getting married into your family. I hate that older people think they can say anything they want just because they're older. I've come to the point in life where I don't care who you are or how old you are. If you say something to insult me, I won't take it. Respect is a two-way street. From someone who can relate your NTA 100 times over. NTA for standing up for your SIL, but you need to learn to do it firmly without being so aggressive. I say this, not because her mom deserves it, but because it reduces the chances of drama, and that is great for the people you are trying to protect, and it gives the person less ammunition to complain about you later. For example, had you said something along the lines of Lily looks wonderful in this dress, and she needs to feel comfortable on it. We are here to support her and help her choose the dress that will make her feel the best on her wedding day, even if it's not our own style. If you had done it, maybe Lily's mom would have started drama anyway, but what she would claim to other people. That you put Lily's feelings above hers, the horror. She could try to spin it around, but the truth is you would not have given her ammunition to it. Now, she can say that you called her a nightmare of a mother, and that will give her sympathy points even from people that know how she is, because you attacked her, and not her actions, you know. I am not saying you did anything wrong, and I completely understand how you must have been feeling, just giving some ideas for the next time you're in a situation like this. AmItheA, I would kill for a SIL like you. NTA. Definitely talk to your brother and Lily about it, and respect their wishes, but it sounds like you were Lily's advocate, and that's precisely what she needed. Hopefully your brother, her fiancé, is just as much of an advocate for her too. It may be a struggle going forward to help her sort out her family issues, but as long as you know what she truly wants, then you will be prepared to help. For what it's worth, my husband's family is extremely toxic, and I have been able to get him free from that abuse cycle. He thanks me more than I think he should, but at the same time it's reassuring, because I know I'm only helping him do what he wasn't capable of doing solo. NTA, good for you standing up for Lily, and that your brother and Lily want you to. I freaking love my DIL. She has a nightmare of a mother, drugs, narcissistic, unable to mother. My DIL, at the age of 20, is raising a younger brother and sister, has an 11-month-old and pregnant, and about to have her bachelor's in education. She's amazing. I'm very supportive, but I do tend to back off some in her relationship with her mother. I listen and offer advice when appropriate. But I'm also aware that no matter what, this is her mother. That's a minefield of emotions in that relationship. It is hard to unprogram the natural tendency we have to want to love our mothers. My advice, be supportive. Lily needs a good family, and it sounds like she is getting it in her new family. But remember, that is, for better or worse, her family. It may not be easy for her to go against her mother after these years of programming. Rebelling is fun at first, but the emotional toil of it may be a challenge. Don't force her but support her. She'll figure it out at her own pace, and it sounds like you and your brother will be there for her along the road. ONTAOP, and you rock for standing up for her. I would love to be friends with you, but honestly, this sucks for Lily. MIL is going to make the wedding all about the time her daughter disowned her if she picks you, and Lily will always have that memory looming over her wedding day. No, this is not your fault, and yes, MIL is a monster manipulator, but Lily has a lifetime of baggage to overcome. Honestly, I'd tell Lily you're happy to stay home, don't make the poor girl choose, because she's already hurting, and play it off like it's NBD and then fight MIL to the death after the wedding. Again, I'm only saying this so Lily can have the memory of her wedding as a happy one. I'm sure MIL will cause tons of other drama, but it sounds like Lily will just go along with it as she has all her life. I think you rock though, for the record D.
Am I the a-hole for telling my mom she needs to work on her racist language or she can't meet her granddaughter? So I'm currently 30 weeks pregnant. This will be the first grandbaby in the family. I'm in an interracial relationship. My partner is loyal, loving, hardworking, family-focused. He's really a wonderful man. I'm so grateful and lucky. He's black and I'm white. Anyways, recently there's been a lot of drama in my family. My dad, who has lived in multiple states, decided to forcefully move back into my mom's house because they share a mortgage. He's in between jobs in the oil business. It's a whole thing that my family is shocked by since he's always living different lives with multiple women, etc. So my mom was venting to me and said that since he decided to forcefully move back in, demanding that it's his house, also he can shovel, I take care of the yard, take care of the house. Then she says, I won't be his white nigga. Hard R everyone. Instantly, I shut down that shit down and said, I understand your frustration, but you can't use that word. You could say I'm not his dog, even. She said, no, I'm not his slave. For some time, I kept challenging her and describing that word is highly offensive and discriminatory. She kept brushing it off, saying she wouldn't say it to my partner or to my child. At this point, I was pissed. I told her that she needs to make a strong effort on her racist language use or she won't be allowed to ever meet my daughter. that she can never use that word around me again or she will have no contact with my child. She just brushed me off and told me work is calling and he hung up on me. Am I the a-hole? Was I too harsh on a learning experience? This is my mom. I feel like I can't trust her around my daughter now or what she says about my partner when I'm not around.
NTA, using the word like that, with a hard R, is less of a temporal disconnect and more that she's used to using racist language and wants to keep it up. It's not that she's from a different time, the hard R has always been incredibly racially charged, using it is a deliberate choice. I'm in an interracial relationship, as the non-white party, and it always starts out as I won't say it in front of them, yet it always starts slipping out slowly until at the end of the day, you're the bad guy for being so sensitive. My partner used this same argument to his own parents. Once, his father made a joke about a company being run by the Taliban and his mum made fun of their funny foreign names. He immediately said to them that, if he ever heard them say something like that again he would never forgive them, and that my children, your grandchildren, will have funny names and maybe look like the Taliban, so will you say that to them? They never did it again, not to him, and not to me. Sometimes these things have to be said directly and explicitly, before they are used, even by accident, to hurt people of color. Thank you, and good on you, for standing up for your husband and daughter. My mum used to use a lot of racist language, she doesn't even realize some was racist, because to her it just means X the way your mother felt that term just meant slave. However, when she says these things, I say, gently, I know what you mean, but I need to tell you that that phrase is very racist, and you should try to remove that from your vocabulary. The latest example was cotton-picking hearts as in bless his dear little cotton-picking heart basically implies the person is good-natured and simple-minded, the way the most desirous slaves were, docile and working. She said she will try and she does. It's hard when that phrase isn't a negative phrase, and the racism is not very obvious, in a country that doesn't have black slaves, or ever has so the phrase has become unmoored from its initial meaning. NTA some words stay. They stay with kids. Imagine if your child came out white passing, and your mother decided that since they weren't an N-word that your mother could say the N-word around them. NTA, obviously. I'm gonna suggest you make a written final attempt to your mother to make your feelings and boundaries known. It doesn't matter if she's not making the comments in front of you, your partner, or your child. If you hear that she has used any language such as, list examples if necessary, regardless of if she feels that it's offensive, she will be cut off. This isn't about what she thinks will be fine, it's about what you will not tolerate in connection with your family. Make is abundantly clear that this isn't a small thing, and there will be zero tolerance. If you doesn't have enough love for you and your child to make a real effort at change, then it's time to cut her off. She's already shown you that she doesn't consider it to be important, but at least she can't claim she wasn't warned if you lay it out to her clearly. You should be ready to cut her off completely, because it's likely you will have to. Protect your family above all else. NTN I hope to God I don't run into someone like your mother in public. Or I hope for her sake she doesn't run into someone like me in public. This is truly disgusting. I'm not even sure why you were even questioning whether you're the asshole for exposing your biracial half-black daughter to a racist person under any circumstance, regardless of who that person is to you. I understand it's hard because she's your mom, but black people, especially black men, are royalty, they are kings, they are divine, and they are so absolutely positively special and amazing. That word your mother used in passing, that word was the last word someone heard seconds before they died. A woman heard that word while being raped. Women and men heard that word while having their babies taken away from them and murdered. So again, why are you questioning whether or not someone who could possibly claim to be a grown adult finds it acceptable to use that word under any circumstance?
Am I an a-hole for ditching my girlfriend for one night while away on holiday? So my partner and I are going to my hometown just after Christmas. Her family is all in Japan. We are spending 2 weeks, of which most will be spent with my family and a few days of us exploring by ourselves. My high school friends want to make plans to catch up and get an Airbnb and spend the night playing games, etc. I ask my girlfriend if she minds if I don't bring her along, as none of my other friends are bringing their partners and it changes the dynamic somewhat. English isn't her first language, so a lot of the games we'd like to play would be too difficult for her. I gave her the option she could stay with my family, whom she has met before, or she could stay with my high school friends at GF, whom we have stayed with before and we will probably stay with for one night again. She blew up now saying she isn't coming on the trip anymore, etc. etc. I then offer instead to fly to my hometown a couple days earlier than originally planned and catch up with my friends, and then I'll pick her up from the airport. This too is not an option apparently, and she maintains she's no longer coming on the trip, which by the way I paid for half the flight. Am I the a-hole?
NTA by a long mile. You have given her advance notice, made several alternate arrangements and accommodations for her, and are clearly open to communication and compromise. She's behaving like a child who can't be left alone for one single night out of 2 weeks for a meaningful and rare bonding experience with your childhood friends. By saying she simply won't come on the trip instead of discussing other solutions and options, she's being quite manipulative. Please think about whether you want to be together with such a my way or the highway person, especially if this is very common behavior for her, and if she's not explaining why she feels this way, e.g. if she feels anxious, because she feels she can't communicate well enough on her own due to language difficulties etc. YTA. The point of bringing your partner to your hometown is to meet your family and friends and see where you grew up etc. Not for you to go off reminiscing while they sit around alone or with people they don't know particularly well. Unless you're from some major city or tourist place, and even then, her reason for going to your hometown is to spend time there with you, not because wherever USA, home of the 2010 baseball Division II county champions and birthplace of a novelist most people haven't heard of, is so appealing to her. Also, I get your desire to play games and how it might not work given her language abilities, but depending on her it was phrased and presented, that could come off as you're too foreign ethnic dumb to hang and play with my friends. It sounds like you guys may be an interracial couple, or you're an American British-born Asian and she a native-born Asian, so this may have rubbed her the wrong way. But leaning toward her being an off or not being willing to compromise with you flying out earlier. I personally would not mind being left for a night, but she is clearly uncomfortable being alone in a new place, and that's okay. Being unwilling to fly alone is a compromise though starts bordering on you need therapy level of anxiety codependency. You should not have to be next to her every moment for her to be comfortable functioning on a vacation. Please don't allow her behavior to stop you from having one night alone with your friends. If it's a hill she is willing to die on she will miss the trip I guess. That may not bode well for your relationship, but do you really want a future with someone who cannot be independent? NTA. It's one night, I was in the same situation as your girlfriend in August there. We flew to my boyfriend's hometown for a wedding. The guys wanted to have a gaming night and blow off steam and get a hotel. I didn't have any issues with it. I barely knew one of the other girlfriends in the group, but it was decided I'd stay with her. I am really socially awkward and have bad anxiety, but I sucked it up and got over myself because partner wanted and needed that time with his mates who he hadn't seen in months. I actually had a great night with the other girlfriend, we ordered food and watched a movie, it was great. I know for certain, if the roles were reversed, my partner would do the exact same as me. I actually think your partner is being quite selfish and controlling. Being an adult and being in a relationship shouldn't be so codependent. I resolved to stop being in relationships where I couldn't live without the other. A relationship should be where you can live without the other and be comfortable spending time yourselves. YTA leaving someone out is one of the worst things ever, and that's essentially what you're doing. Why can't she team up with you? Why can't you teach her the rules? Why can't you play simpler games? Why can't she just go and not play, but still get to be involved and not sitting alone or with your family if she doesn't even know that well, asymmetrically? Why can't you play some of your games and then some easy games that she'd understand and be easy for your friends to learn? Why can't you forgo the games and make a new tradition? Why is it that she has to be left behind because she won't understand? I feel like there is a lot you can do here and instead you're picking the easy option of just ditching her. Even if it's only one night that still hurts unbelievably. Then you talk about making a mental note of how uncompromising she can be. You're being uncompromising. Not her. How would you feel if she took you to her hometown and said you had to stay with her parents for a night because you wouldn't understand the inside jokes and it's just too much effort to explain them to you? Yeah, YTA.